Hi everyone, I'm Sal, co-creator of Salt and Pepper Productions, and today I'm going to talk about Danganronpa's official English dub. When it comes to anime and other Japanese media, most people seem to agree that the original Japanese versions are better than the dubbed versions. The dialogue is better, the voice acting is better, everything is just better. Truth be told, when given the option between the Japanese dub and the English dub, I'll usually pick the Japanese version with English subtitles. I'll try to avoid the English dub. That's not to say all English dubs are bad. I personally thought the dub for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was pretty good, and Russ and I both liked the dub for the Dragon Ball franchise. As for Danganronpa's official dub, obviously, there are things that I don't like about it, but none of those things completely diminish the story. Except Kyoko Kirigiri's "I thought I died" line in the end of Hope's Peak Academy. That screw-up ruined the Hope arc for me. Anyway, I thought it'd be interesting to make a video discussing some of the things I like and dislike about Danganronpa's official dub. I'm going to discuss some minor details and decisions the translators made, and I'm going to discuss some of the voice acting. Now, Danganronpa is a very big series with a very large cast of characters, so I'm not going to go through every single voice actor and every single change made by the translators. If I did that, we'd be here all day. I'm only going to discuss things that really stood out to me, things that I think are worth discussing. To keep this video simple, I'll focus on 3 subtopics: titles, names, and voices. I apologize in advance if some of my critiques feel like nitpicks, and let's get started. In Danganronpa, all the students have titles that let people know they're attending Hope's Peak Academy. In the original version of the games, the title used by every Hope's Peak Academy student is Chokoko Kyono, which, according to Google Translate, means Ultra High School Class. The Wiki and the subtitles in the anime translate the title to Super High School Level. In the fan translation of Trigger Happy Havoc, the title is Super Duper High School, and in the game's official English dub, the title is Ultimate. Ultimate Despair sounds much more threatening than Super High School Level Despair or Super Duper High School Despair. The Ultimate Despair, that sounds like a very scary and dangerous group of people. The same can be said about the Ultimate Hope. That sounds like a very powerful and important title. Someone with a title like the Ultimate Hope must be a very notable person. That sounds like someone you can look up to. Where Super High School Level Hope or Super Duper High School Hope sounds a little silly. Not to mention, it's quite a mouthful. So I'm okay with this translation decision. When talking about the characters and their titles, I'll use the word Ultimate. As for the students' individual titles, they're fine, but I do have minor issues with some of them. In the official English dub, Toko Fukawa is the ultimate writing prodigy. On one hand, ultimate writing prodigy feels more accurate than her title in the fan translation. In the fan translation, she's called the Super Duper High School Bookworm, which is a bit misleading. A bookworm is someone who likes to read. Toko's talent isn't reading, it's writing. Now, it's true that most writers are heavy readers themselves, but a title like Bookworm fails to address why Toko was scouted by Hope's Peak Academy. So, in that regard, I think the Ultimate Writing Prodigy is a better, more appropriate title. At the same time, I don't really like that they use the word prodigy in the title. I mean, obviously Toko's a prodigy, otherwise she wouldn't be at Hope's Peak Academy. I think it's unnecessary to say, and I don't think it sounds as good as, say, the ultimate writer or the ultimate author. I guess Ultimate Writing Prodigy is better than Super High School Level Literary Girl, but still. In the dub, Byakuya Togami's title is The Ultimate Affluent Progeny. That's a little long, and it doesn't roll off the tongue very well. In the fan translation, he's the Super Duper High School Scion, and in other versions, he's the Super High School Level Heir. So why didn't the English version of the game go with something like the Ultimate Heir or the Ultimate Scion? I mean, Celestia Ludenberg is the Ultimate Gambler in the official dub. I like that title because it's short and to the point. I think they should have done that with Byakuya's title. Same thing with Aoi Asahina's title. The Ultimate Swimmer would have sufficed. They didn't need to add the word pro to her title. Like, talk about pointless. Genocider Show's title has the same problem as Byakuya's title. The Ultimate Murderous Fiend doesn't roll off the tongue very well. The Ultimate Killer or the Ultimate Serial Killer would have been much better. I don't dislike Sayaka Mizono's title in the official dub. I think the Ultimate Pop Sensation rolls off the tongue nicely, but her title is Idol in other versions. I think that works better because it's short, to the point, and it fits the story's setting. In the fan translation, Makoto Naegi's title is the Super Duper High School Luckster. In the official dub, Makoto and Nagito Kamaeda are both called the Ultimate Lucky Student. The Wiki translates their title to Super High School Level Good Luck. Originally, I preferred Luckster because that was the first version I heard, and I liked the way it sounded. But since Luckster is a term used to describe a League of Legends player, the Ultimate Luckster probably isn't a super appropriate title for Makoto and Nagito. I disliked Lucky Student initially because I didn't like how they put the word student in the title. Kind of like how I don't like that they put the word prodigy in Toko's title. Thinking about it more though, I do think the Ultimate Lucky Student has a nice ring to it. Super High School Level Good Luck is a little weird for me because whenever I read the words good luck, I think of someone wishing someone else good luck. I don't think of someone calling someone else good luck. Maybe if the title was Good Luck Charm, it would feel less weird. Regardless, this one's probably my least favorite version of Makoto and Nagito's title. Speaking of weird titles, the ones used for the characters in another episode, Ultra Despair Girls, are probably the weirdest titles in the series. The titles in this game are meant to reflect the child's favorite class, or strongest subject in school. The Little Ultimate PE, the Little Ultimate Art, the Little Ultimate Drama, the Little Ultimate Social Studies, and the Little Ultimate Homeroom. Instead of naming each title after a class, they should have gone with something like the Little Ultimate Athlete, or the Little Ultimate Artist, or the Little Ultimate Actress, or the Little Ultimate Historian. Those titles would have made more sense. I'm not quite sure what Monica Toa's title should have been though. I don't really have any issues with the titles used for the characters in Goodbye Despair, The End of Hope's Peak Academy, and Kill in Harmony, so let's move on. One thing about Trigger Happy Havoc's official dub that I don't get is the decision to give random characters nicknames. Aoi Asahina, Yasuhiro Hagakure, and Kiyotaka Ishimaru all have nicknames in the official English dub, and I don't understand why. They didn't have nicknames in the fan translation, and if you listen to the Japanese voice actors, it's very clear that those characters didn't have nicknames in the original version of the game.
証人がいるとしたらねえ朝比奈さんに言われたかねえって
はがくれくん残念ですがこんな証拠もあるのですよ
それで何なのだ先にはっきりさせておかねばならぬこととは
石丸の死体の運搬方法についてだ。
So, yeah, I don't understand why the official dub decided to give those characters nicknames. It makes no sense. In Kill and Harmony, Korekio Shinguji goes by Kyo, so I'm wondering if that's another case of the English dub giving a random character a nickname for no reason. Interestingly enough, Celestia Ludenberg does have a nickname in all versions of Trigger Happy Havoc. In the original Japanese dub, the fan translation, and the anime, she goes by Celeste. But the official English dub changed her nickname to Celeste, with a T and an extra E. Why? What was the point of that? Also, why did they change Genocider Show's name to Genocide Jack/Jill? I talked to Russ about this, and he suggested that Genocide Jack was a reference to Jack the Ripper. He also noted that Jack is a common name in English-speaking countries and thought, well, maybe Sho is a common name in Japan. I guess that makes sense, but still, I think they should have just left it as Genocider Sho. I understand that this is the English dub, but all the other characters got to keep their original Japanese names. This isn't like Ace Attorney, where all the characters have an English-sounding name in the English dub. Changing Sho's name to Jack just feels like yet another weird and unnecessary change. I've noticed that subtitles for the anime occasionally change Monokuma's name to Mono Bear, and I'm just glad the official dub for the games didn't do that. I know Kuma is the Japanese word for bear, but still. You know that thing where a name or phrase sounds better because it's in another language, and then the second you translate it to a language you're familiar with, in this case English, it loses whatever zing or beauty it initially had? That's how I feel about Monokuma's name. Monokuma has a nice ring to it. Mono Bear doesn't. So I'm glad the game's official translators left his name alone. I'll give them credit for that. The voice acting in the English dub is fine for the most part. I'll admit I don't like the way some of the actors delivered their lines, but it's not terrible. Chihiro Fujisaki's voice in the dub works. It can pass as either a girl or a prepubescent boy. If Chihiro had a super deep voice, that would have ruined the gender reveal. And if Chihiro had a super high-pitched voice, that wouldn't have made any sense. In the Japanese dub, Sakura Ogami has a very deep masculine-sounding voice. In the English dub, she has a husky female voice, and I think that works for the character. I really like what they did with Celeste in the English dub. Celestia Ludenberg is an alias. Her real name is Taeko Yasuhiro. Celeste spent the entire game lying to everyone about her name and her lineage. So in the English dub, Celeste has a fake accent to go with her fake name and her fake identity. And as she reveals her real name at the end of the third class trial, as she confesses that she's the killer, she drops the accent.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taeko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taeko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
That was such a good way to show the player, or the viewer, that Celeste had completely given up. That small change made this scene so much more powerful. Unlike some of the other changes I discussed, this change actually made an aspect of the story better. When I first heard Kyoko's voice in the English dub, it really threw me off. The voice Erica Harlacher used doesn't sound like a high school student's voice. It sounds like a grown adult's voice. It feels a little robotic, too.
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how.
I know Kyoko is supposed to have a monotone voice, and Harlacher accomplished that for the most part. I just think Yoko Hikasa did a much better job. The voice she used is soft, it doesn't betray how Kyoko is feeling, but it still has a somewhat sharp edge.
このまま誰がやったかを話し合っていても、話が堂々巡りするだけのようね。だったら、誰がじゃなくて、どうやってで考えてみましょうか。
I've gotten used to Harlacher's rendition of Kyoko. I definitely like it more than Caitlin Glass's rendition of the character. Bryce Papenbrook voiced Makoto and Nagito in the English dub. The voice he used for Makoto works, and the voice he used for Nagito works. I think Papenbrook did a decent job overall. I like his delivery during some scenes, and I dislike his delivery in other scenes. Byakuya's voice in the English dub is fine. At times it feels a little robotic, like Kyoko's English dub voice, and I'm not a huge fan of how his voice actor delivered some of his dialogue, but it's not terrible. I like Junko Enishima's voice in the Japanese dub. I'm fine with her English dub voice for the games, and similar to Kyoko, I don't like her English dub voice for the anime. The English dub for Kill and Harmony reused the voice actors from the previous games. Some of them did a really good job disguising their voices. If no one had said anything, I wouldn't have realized that they had done voice work for the other games.
So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
I really want to get out of here with everyone. And to do that, I need your help. So, please.
To me, attending Hope's Peak Academy is like being a celebrity or a superhero. In fact, instead of calling it admiration, it's more like it's always been a dream of mine.
That's the way it is. Now, Monokuma probably already told you this, but just in case. This killing game will continue until there are only 2 people left.
Calm down, okay? You wouldn't do something like that, right? You're not the kind of person who would hurt someone.
I could have used my magic to carry it easily, but seances and magic don't mix.
Hey, don't mess with me! Do you really think we're gonna forgive you if you just drop to your knees and cry?
There is no need to thank me. Your happiness is the reason I serve.
You see what I mean? The difference is like night and day. Some voice actors, however, use the same character voices they used for the previous games.
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right? It's just that I've never been around someone so relaxed and impulsive. I think that's exactly what I've been missing all this time.
No matter what happens, please always be there for me. I need you on my side.
I don't care if it ruins the trick. Just come out. This stress is bad for my heart.
I'm still an inexperienced member of my family's business. From this point forward, I hope we get along so we can get to know each other better.
I came up with a plan after Mew asked me to meet up with her. She asked me pretty eagerly, too, so I decided to pry some info out of her.
It was super dark, you know? There's no way you'd be able to find your way to the storage room.
Hold on! Don't just drop it on top of me! Please don't jinx us!
This didn't bother me while I was watching the game, but once the game was over and I decided to revisit the other games, I found it very difficult to distinguish these characters from those characters. I can't listen to Leon Kawada without thinking about Suichi Saihara. I can't listen to Sayaka Maizono without thinking about Tsumugi Shiragane. I can't listen to Fuyuhiko Kuzuryu without thinking about Kokichi Oma. And I don't like that. I find it very distracting, and I just don't want to think about Kill and Harmony when I'm trying to watch the other games. So the decision to reuse the voice actors from the previous games is a decision that I don't like in retrospect. Maybe if all the voice actors used a different character voice, I wouldn't mind so much. While writing the script for this video, I noticed that I was focusing mainly on Trigger Happy Havoc and not the other games. I mean, I occasionally mentioned characters from the other games, but overall, I couldn't really think of anything from the other games that stood out in either a good way or a bad way. I know I went through the titles from another episode, Ultra Despair Girls, but I only did that because 1. Other people have made comments about them, and 2. I didn't want Trigger Happy Havoc to take up that entire section. I think the English dub for Trigger Happy Havoc is the easiest one to pick apart and criticize because there are so many versions of that story. There's the original Japanese dub, there's the fan translation by Project Zetsubou, and there's an anime adaptation. So there's just a lot of stuff to compare the official dub to, and it's really easy to find changes that raise your eyebrows. It's also been a while since I sat through a very large portion of the other games, so it's harder to think of things that I like or dislike off the top of my head. I remember Russ said he thought the dub for Goodbye Despair was perfect because he really liked the voice acting and whatnot. I understand what he means. I mean, I can't say there was a lot of stuff in Goodbye Despair's English dub that really bothered or impressed me. So, is the official dub for the Danganronpa games perfect? Definitely not. Is it terrible? No. Is the dub for Trigger Happy Havoc the worst one? Probably, simply because of the various changes that make no sense. Thank you for watching the video. So, how do you feel about Danganronpa's official dub, and dubs in general? Do you agree with anything I had to say? Do you disagree with anything I had to say? Let us know in the comments below. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe. Check out our other videos if you haven't already. Be sure to share this video, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Bye!